Three scientists in animated discussion over the fossilised remains of a dinosaur.
I think this is going to be an incredibly significant discovery.
This is an animal unlike any other living or extinct.
Spicomellus, I think, is going to be one of the strangest dinosaurs that we've ever discovered.
A smiling scientist holds up a fossilised rib covered in huge spikes. Arid, rocky landscape. Museum scientist Susannah Maidment sits on a rocky outcrop.
We're here in the Middle Atlas Mountains of Morocco to try to find more of some really exciting dinosaurs that we first discovered a couple of years ago. We have this specimen at the museum called Spicomellus.
A shot of a long fossil with spikes protruding from it.
And we described it as the world's oldest Ankylosaur and the first Ankylosaur from Africa.
That same fossil, now computer rendered, rotates 360 degrees.
It had a really odd morphology. It had ribs in which the armour was actually fused to a rib, and this is very strange. So in most of our armoured dinosaurs, we have spikes and plates and armour that just is sort of embedded in the skin and isn't attached to the bones of the body. But this animal has armour attached to its body, and that's totally weird. We don't see that in any animal living or extinct. I was able to trace the fossils back to this site here.
I got in touch with a colleague who works in France, who's a Moroccan, and this person pointed me towards Professor Driss Ouache, who is an expert in the sedimentology of the rock. So that means he has spent his career studying the environments in which these dinosaurs are living in.
Professor Driss Ouache stands over a large boulder in the rocky wilderness holding a hammer. So, in 2018, Susannah reached out to me by email because the museum had some dinosaurian bones coming from the Middle Atlas in Morocco.
De dinosauriens en provenance du Moyen Atlas.
And because I am close to the Middle Atlas, they called me, and I went with them in the field to show them the facies of the continental Jurassic, where the dinosaurian used to live. The scientists are gathered in the rocky terrain.
I've been collaborating with Driss here in Morocco in the University Sidi Mohammed Ben Abdallah for about 5 years now, working on the rocks here, working on some of the specimens that we bought commercially. This is my second trip out here to try to understand more about the bones, actually try and find some fossils ourselves. The first thing we need to do is to remove all the rock. And of course, you know, when we're far above where we know the bone layer is, we can go pretty hard with pickaxes. So we did that for a couple of days, and all the big strong people wielded pickaxes and removed about 2.5 meters of sediment that they got through in 2 days. Now what we're doing is we're going much more slowly because we're getting close to the bones. And in fact, we found a bone this morning, so we know we're at the right level. This is an animal that is covered in armour, so its back has all these spikes on it. So, you know, if you show me a fallen bone, I know where the fallen bone goes on the body, but you show me a great big long spike and I really don't have any idea where that bone fits. So what we're trying to do is figure out exactly how those bones fit together. And this is really important because we're trying to understand an animal that, frankly, we have kind of no frame of reference for understanding at all. This is an animal unlike any other living or extinct. And so what we hope to find is that parts of the animal are in the right place, lying out like it died. That's pretty rare in the fossil record. We almost never get that, but you never know. So that's what we hope that we can find. Now, the thing is that many of these bones in this environment, you can see behind me here that the quarry's actually it's in a channel, a river channel, and flash floods come down here. And so what Mohammed, our colleague who's been working here, has done is every time a flood has come through, he's actually been removing the specimens before they get washed away.
Many new fossils laid out on the ground.
That's great because we've still got them, but the problem is we don't know where they fit. So we're hoping that we'll have those fantastic specimens that Mohammed's found, but we'll also have more information from what we're doing as well.
Richard Butler of the University of Birmingham at the dig site.
I'm Richard Butler. I'm a professor of paleobiology at the University of Birmingham, and we're part of this collaboration together with the Natural History Museum and the University from Fez. I think we knew we were going to come here and that there were going to be some dinosaur fossils, but I think what we've seen here is actually, it's been completely mind-blowing. It's been way beyond what we thought we were going to find during this week. I think we've only really scratched the surface. There are some absolutely incredible fossils that are going to reveal a huge amount of new information about the dinosaurs that lived here 160 million years ago. I hope that we're going to have some incredible scientific discoveries. I hope we're going to find lots more dinosaur material. We're going to understand much more about the types of dinosaurs that lived here, the ecosystems in which they were living. But I think there's also a much broader thing that we want to get out of the work here, which is about capacity building in Morocco. So we're really working genuinely closely in partnership with our local collaborators. And we want to help them to establish the facilities that allow them to develop this site, prepare the fossils, and ultimately house those fossils in a museum here in Morocco.
For us, this is a really, really long, ongoing project, and what we really need to do, and really my aim for this project, is that we actually set up a vertebrate paleontology lab here in Morocco. And we're coming over here, but what I would like to do, the fossils are absolutely staying in Morocco, and they're not going to be housed in a museum anywhere else in the world. They will remain here in Morocco.
Our hope would be that through raising the profile of the fossils here, through helping to build capacity, so through training local collaborators, through setting up facilities, that will help to grow Moroccan paleontology.
Professor Ouache on-screen subtitles read, "Every country needs to preserve its heritage. The fossils, etc. are not renewable. If we lost them, it's forever. So, we need to preserve them, and whoever wants to visit them should come to Morocco. We have our material, and instead of sending it to Paris, London or Miami, it stays in Morocco, and whoever wants to see it can come. But scientists should come study it, like we're doing with Susannah and Richard."
واللي بغى يشوفوا يجي مي لي سيونتيفيك كلهم يجيو يقراوها بحال اللي حنا كنديروا دابا مع سوزانا مع ريتشارد مع.
So Spicomellus, I think, is going to be one of the strangest dinosaurs that we've ever discovered. It's got unbelievable armour. It has these bizarre spikes fused to the ribs. It has these crazy elongate spines which seem to come out of what might be a collar around the neck. It's utterly unlike any other dinosaur we've ever found. And so I think it's going to be something that will really capture the imagination of people around the world who are interested in dinosaurs. I think it's also actually going to tell us a lot about the early evolution of a major group of dinosaurs, the Ankylosaurs, which are these armoured, tank-like dinosaurs. And Spicomellus is the oldest representative of that group. So I think this is going to be an incredibly significant discovery. And what we had before was just this single rib. We're now going to be able to start to build up a picture of much of the skeleton.
The outside face of the Natural History Museum.
It's been a couple of years since we came back from Morocco, having found all the Spicomellus material.
Susannah Maidment sits at her desk in the museum.
We wanted to bring the dinosaur out of Morocco to get it prepared here. That proved incredibly logistically complicated. So in the end, we decided to set up a prep lab in Morocco. And actually, that was always our plan. It just sort of brought forward our plans a bit. So we've completely prepared the specimen now. Kauta and Ahmed are fully fledged preparators. We have a lovely prep lab, and we've described the specimen.
A computer reconstruction of the new spiky dinosaur rotates 360 degrees.
We found some really cool things about the specimen. We've got this incredible spiky collar with metre-long spikes. We've got evidence that the animal had a tail weapon, which is really unusual because we thought that was something that evolved much later in Ankylosaur history. And we've also got this sort of shield that sits over the hip region with these enormous long spikes on that as well. And again, this is something that we thought was restricted to a small group of ankylosaurs, but now we know, thanks to Spicomellus, that it was much more broadly distributed and probably evolved very early on in ankylosaur evolutionary history. So we think that Spicomellus was using its armour, perhaps for display, maybe to show off to try to attract a mate. It's been 5 years since we first discovered that rib in a fossil shop in Cambridge. It feels like it's been a long process, but I'm thrilled that we've got to where we are now, that we have a really nice skeleton, and I'm really looking forward to the future discoveries that we make in these rocks in Morocco.
Credits over the rotating 3D rendering of the armoured dinosaur.